Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today the Houston Rockets will play the Golden State Warriors, and this will potentially be the Houston Rockets' last game of the season. But you don't want to start off with this because it's more likely that people will be listening later on, or early on than later on. Regardless of what happens with this team, I don't want to say this at the end. Regardless of what happens with this team tonight, I you know. I don't know what I want from this team. I want them to win, but here's the one thing I don't want. I don't want to my emotions can't take much more with this team, with this series. So it would suck to see this. I want to see this team win a one game. I don't want the Rockets to be embarrassed in 5 games. But I'd also hate to see this team win one game, give me so much hope inside, and then go to San Francisco, and then the Warriors get to win on their own court. But I want to see if this team can seriously make a 3-1 comeback, which I don't really believe in. It hasn't happened. It really hasn't happened since 2016. Look, what the Nuggets did in 2020, making 2 3-1 comebacks in the same postseason, that is incredible. But it's much harder to come back 3-1 when there are no fans. It's much easier to come back 3-1 when there are no fans. So the last time it really happened was with Cleveland in 2016. So, it's hard to do. It really is. The last guy that it happened on was Stephen Curry. If we're gonna go by 3-1 has to happen with real fans in the stadium, not the Nuggets comebacks against the Clippers and the Jazz and in the 2019-20 bubble. But so it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. I think the easier thing for this Rockets team, this is not often with 3 teams that are down 3-1. If they were to come back and win the next 3 games, 2 of those 3 games are at Houston. Usually when you see a team down 3-1, most of the time, that team is the worser seed. So, but the Rockets are the better seed in this scenario. They are the 2 seed. The Warriors are the 7 seed in the potential 3 final games, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7. 2 of the 3 are at Toyota Center. I think that is the Rockets' advantage in this whole thing, but it is still hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and especially a team that has number 30 and Jimmy Butler as well on their roster. But at the same time, regardless of what happens tonight, I am proud of this team. I'm proud of what they have accomplished this season, being the 2 seed. This is a team that was the 2 seed for most of the season and then had a really bad month of February, and it was really bad. They were all the way down to the 5 seed, and they had teams sneaking up on them. They could, if they kept it up, they would have been all the way down to the 6 or 7 seed. And I kept talking about how I just wanted this team to get to the 4 seed, because at the time Memphis was the 4 seed, the Rockets were the 5 seed, and I was thinking, I just want this Rockets team. This was around near March, and I was thinking, I just want this Rockets team to get into the 4 seed, where they're potentially playing Memphis in the first round, and they end up hosting. They have home court in a series against Memphis as the 4 seed. And then they go on this crazy run to end the season and get all the way up to the 2 seed, even though they were so far back, and get to that 2 seed. They passed Memphis, they passed Denver, they passed the Lakers. And so that was hard to do for this team, but they played really good basketball to do that. And they played good basketball before that. Just February was a really bad month for this team. And that was something I was really proud of this team this year. And so I'm proud of this team regardless of what happens tonight. I'm going to be frustrated if they lose. I'm going to be mad in the moment. But I want to say before, I am proud of what this team has accomplished this year and what they've done, what they did this year compared to what I've seen in years past with this Rockets team after James Harden left Houston, of being terrible, being one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. Last year, I thought was a solid year. A lot of people act like this is the first good year the Rockets have had. This is like people act like the Rockets were terrible last year. They were 41-41 last year. Actually, were pretty good. Almost snuck up on the Warriors to get that 10 seed. So I think that this Rockets team has showed a lot of adversity in the last 2 years and have continued to grow and grow. And I'm excited to see that potentially next season if this season ends tonight. But let's hope it doesn't. Let's preview this game a little bit. Game starts at 6:30 tonight, so 3 hours away. This is weird for me because I'm in Denver and I'm visiting family. So I'm not going to be in the city to watch the games. And I would not gone to the game regardless. Well, if someone invited me, I would definitely feel terrible about myself. But so let's hope no one invites me. But I probably would have not gone to this game even if I was home. But what I will say is the weird thing, and I felt like this yesterday with the games that were on yesterday. It is so weird, being, because Denver's an hour earlier. This game starts at 5:30 tonight, like 6:30. If the game starts at 6:30 in Houston, that's normal to me. But at 5:30, it's definitely getting used. There's some getting used to with basketball starting at 5:30. Like yesterday. Yesterday, I know the Bucks Pacers game started at 5 o'clock. If you lived in Houston, it started 4 o'clock here. So, but yeah, Rockets injury report: Jason Tate is out tonight. Jock Landale is available, but he probably won't be used unless it's a blowout win or blowout loss. Jimmy Butler's a game time decision, pelvis, but I guarantee Jimmy Butler plays in this game tonight. Starting lineups: I don't know. I don't want to make any predictions with this Warriors starting lineup because last game I thought Quentin Post played well in game 3. When Kerr put him into the lineup, had to like 12 rebounds, something like that. And so when game 4 happened, I thought Post would get another start, but Post came off the bench and they started Buddy Hield. That was a surprise to me. So I would expect that if Jimmy plays, I think it all depends on if Jimmy plays, but if Jimmy plays, and I think he will, it'll be Steph, Podziemski, Hield, Butler, and Draymond. But I thought it actually worked well for Golden State in game 3 when they had Post in the lineup. They need that size with the size that the Rockets have in their lineup and bench. So look, the Rockets need to give more minutes to Steven Adams and Jabari Smith Jr. And if you ask me, I don't want to see this happen, but the Warriors need to give more minutes to Quentin Post. But yeah, so. That should be the lineup for the Warriors. The Rockets is going to stay the same. I saw someone comment some weird. It scared me this morning. I saw some weird thing this morning. Some Rockets fan on Twitter said that he saw that Dylan Brooks was out. I was like, what? And I looked on the injury report. I'm like, no, Dylan Brooks is fine, but Dylan Brooks is playing despite some Rockets fans saying he wasn't. So Fred, Jalen starting lineup, Dylan, Amen. Şengün. What I would hope for is Jabari Smith Jr. and Steven Adams getting good minutes. If Jalen Green is not playing well, if he is, play him all you want. But if he is not playing well, please, 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 just play Jabari Smith Jr. and Steven Adams more. I feel like Jabari Smith Jr. has not played enough minutes in this series. He's played too well to not play way more. Same thing for Steven Adams. I can understand with Steven Adams because the Warriors do that thing with the Hackett Adams. It pisses me off. But when they're not doing that, there is no need. Steven Adams needs to be in this starting lineup. So, or not in the starting lineup, but he needs to be playing more. If they start to do that foul thing, I don't know what to do. I don't blame Ime when he takes him out of the game when they do that. But when they don't, Adams needs to play more. And you know what? The Warriors don't really have a solution for the times that the Rockets do the Adams Şengün the Adams Şengün double big lineup. They really have trouble with that. And so that's something I think that Ime Udoka needs to do more. Your season's on the line tonight. Go for it. Put those two guys on the floor with each other as much as you can, if that's possible. Let me know your thoughts. I'm gonna wrap it up. Prediction wise, it could be the last game of the season. I'm gonna go with the Rockets getting a win. So I'd rather, you know what? I don't know. I don't want to see, as much as I don't want to see the Warriors win this series in San Francisco, I also don't want to see the Rockets in this series in Houston. So I don't want the Rockets, our Houston fans, Rockets fans, have to see that, in Houston. So let me know your thoughts on this Astros. Sorry, I'm looking at the Astros score since they just made it 7-4 or something. But let me know your thoughts on this Rockets game today. Hopefully the Rockets can go out there and get a dub. But if not, it is what it is. They're down 3-1. Let's just hope next year can be a better year. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.